The Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested and charged Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority ZAMRA Director General and Principal Regulatory Officer for corrupt practices. Bernice Mwale, age 64, of Chadley, Lusaka, and Brian Mwanei Kabika, aged 42, of Minu Valley, have been charged with willful failure to comply with applicable law and procedure contrary to Section 34, subsection 2 of the Anti-Corruption Act, number 3 of 2012. Details are that on dates unknown, but between 1st July 2019 and 30th September 2019, Ms. Mwale and Mr. Kabika, jointly and whilst acting together with other persons unknown, failed to comply with applicable procedure and regulations when processing license number PL/50091/19 in favor of HoneyBee Pharmacy. The above officials have since been released on bond and
the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee has noted irregularities in the awarding of a contract in 2019 to HoneyBee to supply medical kits to the Ministry of Health. Besides being issued with a wholesale pharmaceutical license, notwithstanding 17 deficiencies noted by the Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority, the committee chaired by Mchinga lawmaker Howard Kunda has also heard HoneyBee was issued with the said license on a weekend. Appearing before the committee, ZAMRA Director for Laboratory Services, Bonaventure Chilinde, could not also explain why the authority issued the said license despite an earlier recommendation not to do so.
Chair, I need to submit that the license which was issued in 2019 was based on the fact that the plan was to attend to certain deficiencies noted as in the report. And ZAMRA inspectors had been following up with the client. And on that particular day, on the Saturday, I remember there was a team that visited the facility to counter check. Initially, the team was supposed to go on a Friday, but due to operational challenges, they did not visit the facility on a Friday. The more reason they visited the facility on the Saturday. On a Saturday? Yes.
And the Sunday?
The Saturday, that's when they visited the facility and they did a report on the Sunday.
One of the directors at HoneyBee, Zaka Motala, was nevertheless given chance to give the side of his company's story.
As I mentioned earlier, that if additional information was required, we would have reverted back to the agent. Are you satisfied that this is the kind of documents that you will be presenting to the government department for you to get the contract? Thank you, Honorable Chair. When we were actually putting together the document, we engaged a consultant, and the consultant put together this document. He used his expertise, and that is how the document, he was satisfied, and that is how the document was submitted.
The committee, however, demanded that HoneyBee gives addresses of the companies it had previously supplied medical kits in 2 days.
Because they are the ones who provided those letters. So would like, yes, I've taken note, would like you to provide that information, the addresses for those companies where you supplied. And I'm sure if you supplied, like you are saying, you should have addresses to where those items went. So we should have that in 2 days. Yes, Honorable Anton Mumba.
The Public Accounts Committee had been considering submissions from the Ministry of Health over procurement irregularities cited in the latest Auditor General's report. Lazarus Sichula, Move TV News.
Good evening, Zambia. We are back again for yet another exciting edition of Z Corner, your community TV station where everybody is a VIP. So before we continue with today's topics, because we are going to be talking about a whole lot of exciting things, and I'm sure you guys would love to participate. So before we jump into all the nitty-gritty details, kindly hit the like button. I can see there's a number of you watching us from across the various platforms that we are streaming on. So big shout out to everybody watching us on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So before we continue, the usual tradition on Z Corner is share the video. So to all the 200 people watching us right now, share this video on your Facebook timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because you definitely have to let the community grow and let the people be able to know that they are able to participate in national issues. So kindly hit the like button, and in case you really want to participate and be part of this particular live stream, you can always join. The link is in the description box below, or rather on the comment section. So if you want to be with me, have a conversation with me with regards to all the different topics that we are going to be talking about, the link is definitely in the comment section below. So I am looking forward to your participation. I go by the name of Nalula, and I am your humble and gracious host. So today we are going to be talking about the following topics. Number one, HoneyBee pharmacy scandal has obviously right now just been the Pandora's box has been, is it opened or closed? So there have been people who have been arrested. The ACC did what they do best, and there's obviously going to be some more big fish who are going to be sort of apprehended during this particular process, because this has been something that has been irking a lot of Zambians for a long period of time. Because I do remember for a fact there was a huge uproar back in the day when there was the HoneyBee scandal, and there was a lot of money involved. I believe 17 million US dollars, right? And obviously, you know how the contract was sort of given. It was some sort of shady stuff going on in the background. I can see some people like Nicholas and Jovu asking how he can join. Well, Nicholas, I just told you, in case you want to join, right? The link is in the description. So if you click, or rather check the pinned comment, you're going to be able to connect and be able to, come through on the program. So story ID should be called. Just look out for the link in the description box below. And by the way, let us know where you are watching us from, because it's always amazing to see the different locations where people are, getting to join us from, because we always want your location to be represented. So mweba kuma Lusaka, mweba kuma Western Province, mweba kuma Ngalande, kuma Sasasa, everybody, you are definitely welcome. So I can see Danny coming through. Danny Mutambo says he's watching from Chambishi. Chambishi is obviously close to Kitwe. You guys already know that I am a Kitwe native, a Copper Belt native. So you obviously know that these are my local areas. Abena Chambishi, Abena Chingola, Abena Ndola Bonse Bantuveso. So anyhow, the other thing that we're going to be talking about is, the other topic is due to the fact that, the FIC has issued a stern warning to Stanbic Bank, because you already know how these, the Clique Of Thieves and how these transactions are conducted, right? Obviously, they need banks, and according to some, agreements that the FIC has with a lot of our banks in Zambia, right? Certain things, certain protocol has to be followed. And this is one of the reasons why we saw today that the FIC issued a stern warning to Stanbic Bank, because some of the transactions haven't been reported to the FIC. So basically, these people are really working, eh? These people are definitely working up. About ACC, DCFIC, nah, bakari pobu wisan. Last but not the least, we are going to be talking about Jason, brother Jason Musonda Chipepo, has been promoted as the police inspector. So I'm sure you remember a very brave police officer who sort of protested, and what happened? He was obviously apprehended. He lost his job, and basically he became jobless. But this time around, it really seems the UPND, New Dawn government, has taken time to reward all the brave heroes. So I'm sure a lot of you do know how the story unfolds. Mr. Jason Musonda Chipepo is now the police inspector, and we're going to be talking about that. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about Cyclone, or rather tropical storm Anna, which is going to be hitting Zambia. I really believe it has already hit Zambia. So before we jump into all these details, right, a kind reminder: share this video right now, tag everybody. In case you want to participate, kindly do so by joining the link in the description. So get ready, because it's about to go down. And by the way, it really seems Bowman Lusambo is having some sort of back and forth with Chilufet Tayali. You guys already know that Chilufet Tayali is sort of the public lawyer for Mercy Colham. So this time around, right, Chilufet Tayali na bapampulo uluvudi wavene. So yeah, we're going to be seeing how that's going to be unfolding. Not that we care, but of course these are issues of national interest. Okay, so let's continue watching this in the meantime.
This is the road down to Kapachira Waterfall, and it's the first drop down to the baobab tree, for those of you who know where that is. And then this is what awaits us this morning. The road is gone, a whole new river course here. This was all pristine bush a day ago. This river has never ever flowed in this area, and the baobab tree is in the distance, if it still exists. I'm not too sure. If you look over there, is the historic Sherry River in the distance, where you see that plume of mist. That's the historic river with the waterfall to the left of it. We can't even get close to the waterfall, but it's an incredible amount of rain. We've had well over 200 millimeters plus. We still need to get the official figures. Rained all around us, and then in the Blantyre Hills. But yeah, serious damage in Majeti this morning.
There is Storm Anna upon us in the next few hours, and there are anticipations that more flooding is going to take place in Zambia. More areas in the southern part of the country, eastern part of the country, and other districts of the country are likely to be hard hit by floods. So this gesture is testament to the coordinated relationship between different arms of government, as well as the government's cooperating partners, and we look forward to more associations with other players on the market to help the government respond to these floods in a more timely manner. So this also is an opportunity for us to take precaution, because floods will be upon us in targeted areas, in targeted places of the country, and would encourage these communities to prepare themselves, and if possible to ensure that they respond to the extent that we can avert some of the damages that result from these disasters. Let me take this opportunity now to appeal to all stakeholders to continue providing humanitarian assistance to all the vulnerable communities, to the communities that are affected by wide-ranging disasters, not just floods. We have hailstorms as well in southern province, strong winds that have blown off roofs. Certain schools have no roofs now because of these natural calamities that have befallen our country.
All right, so that was obviously a warning coming through from the DMMU. Mr. Gabriel Pollen. Is it Pauline or Pollen? Yeah, so he's basically warning us, saying, once this particular storm gets to hit Zambia. So my question is, are we prepared as a nation? And obviously we have seen what has been happening in Mozambique, some parts of Malawi, and Madagascar as well. So obviously these are calamities that we are afraid of. And right now, if you look at what has been happening in the world for the past few months, right, we are in the we're going through some trials and tribulations as far as the pandemic is concerned, as far as the economy is concerned. Everything is like literally being shattered. So now, let's say, for example, we had to have like a very, very terrible, or rather powerful tropical storm, right? A lot of, businesses are going to be disrupted. A lot of buildings are going to be destroyed. We're definitely going to be very vulnerable. So my question to you is, what the hell is happening in the world? What the hell is going on? So, I just hope you guys are going to, continue praying for everybody. And the world is really, really, literally at a very bad place. And I just hope that everybody's going to have the courage to sort of weather through the storm, or rather, dance to the tune of the bad music that we are about to endure. So basically, the world is going to be very, very shaky and unstable for the next 4 years. And when I say for the next 4 years, right, I'm not really saying because of the mandate of the UPND. I'm talking about the world in general, not only Zambia but the entire world, because this particular crisis will sort of go on till 2026. So if you guys are big fans of understanding history blocks, and how generations sort of mature, and the different phases. One thing that I can tell you is you need to read The Fourth Turning. So basically, The Fourth Turning is a documentation of categorizing how history repeats itself. So basically, there are four cycles. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 cycles, right? And right now we are in the fourth cycle. So basically, the fourth cycle is the one which is very turbulent, and it's very, very shaky. So the fourth cycle started in 2006, 2007, 2008. And so basically, it's going to last till 2026. So if you do remember, in 2008, we had the global crisis, and then the world hasn't been stable ever since then. It has been prolonged for a very long period of time. Not that this information really matters, but I just thought of letting you know. So in case you really want to find out more about the fourth turning, please research that, and you guys are going to understand what I'm talking about. So I thought of just sprinkling that in this particular live stream. So anyhow, getting back to today's topics, because it seems people are shying away from this particular topic. So I'm kindly reminding you, the viewers, to join this particular live stream, because by the end of it all, I do not want to be talking alone. I want to talk to somebody, because I want to find out your opinions. So as a reminder, the link is definitely in the description box. So let me post the link in case you want to join and be part of this particular conversation. Kindly do so. So we are looking forward to having this conversation with you. So getting back to the HoneyBee pharmacy scandal, and what transpired. And by the way, when that particular scandal happened a few months ago, right? Well, probably about 1 year plus some months ago, obviously there was an uproar. Kwalama condoms, there were defective condoms and some expired drugs. Obviously, you already know the implications of such things, right? For example, I know a lot of people who became fathers when they were not prepared because they got some defective condoms. So a lot of things happened, and of course, this is one of the reasons why we need to have like very good standards with regards to our health. And if you look at the supply chain of our health, or rather medical sort of our medicines, right? There are a lot of loopholes. There are a lot of things that really happen, and I'm sure all the pharmacists in Zambia could give a testament to this. So what we need is we need to be strict, because by the end of it, or if there are loopholes, there's obviously going to be some sort of bad things that are going to be happening. Imagine, let's say, for example, you are on ARVs, and then the drugs that you are using are not really as per usual standard. They are sort of expired date. How does that affect your health? So this is one of the reasons why, as much as we want to be ambitious, we have to sort of avoid experimenting with certain industries, especially the medical industry. It's very important. So this is one of the reasons why we need to make sure that we set an example to all the would-be law breakers, especially if you want to take advantage of the people of Zambia by undermining their intelligence, by giving them expired things and things. So this is one of the reasons why we have to be very stringent, and we have to make sure that the law does take we need to make sure that we set an example. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So anyhow, let me read what was happening a while back. Let me take you back to 2000 and is it 2021? Yeah, so let me just share that so that we can read together. So hold on, here we go. So this is how the story unfolded. This was published January 14th, 2021, right? According to the Lusaka Times. Lusaka Times is definitely one of those at least reliable professional outlets that we have. So the Anti-Corruption Commission says it has been investigating suspected corruption in the manner in which HoneyBee Pharmacy was awarded a contract by the Ministry of Health to supply medical kits since August 2020. The investigations were instituted arising from information received from a named stakeholder. ACC Public Relations Manager Timothy Mono says a number of witnesses and suspects have been interviewed and investigations have since reached an advanced stage. Mr. Mono anticipates that the investigations will be concluded soon. Several individuals and entities have in the past few days called upon the Commission to pursue this matter. The ACC wishes to inform the public that following revelations of suspected corruption in the manner HoneyBee Pharmacy was awarded a contract by the Ministry of Health to supply medical kits, the Commission has been investigating the above allegations since August 2020. A number of witnesses and suspects have been interviewed and investigations have since reached an advanced stage. The Commission anticipates that these investigations will be concluded soon. So according to this information, right, these guys have been investigating this particular matter since 2020. So it has been roughly over a year, and this is obviously the outcome. So let me also share the recent revelations that we had just to follow up on this particular story. So hold on, let me share that. Give me a minute. And yeah, so this is coming from News Diggers, and we already know News Diggers is a very reliable news outlet. So the Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested and charged Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority ZAMRA Director General Bernice Mwale and Principal Regulatory Officer Brian Kavika for corrupt practices and willful failure to comply with applicable law and procedure, respectively. In a statement Wednesday, ACC spokesperson Queen Chiva said Mwale and Kavika, whilst acting together with other persons unknown, failed to comply with the applicable procedure and regulations when processing license number PL in favor of HoneyBee Pharmacy. The Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested and charged Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority. So basically, Bakuzamra, somebody has been apprehended. So this is what usually happens when we have investigative wings that are doing the right thing. So to all the people watching us right now, please remember, hit the like button and continue sharing this particular video. And the other thing that I really want to share with you, this is very important because we have obviously heard that the FIC and all these investigative wings are sort of closing or rather shutting down certain accounts that are suspected to be conducting illegal transactions. So in order for you to sort of get a hold of people allegedly doing questionable things, right? It's very easy, especially if banks are involved. And this is one of the reasons why having a very strong financial intelligence center, or basically an investigative wing that can go in there, check out the transactions, where they're coming in, the ins and the outs, is going to be very easy to get these culprits apprehended, because by the end of it all, right, no matter how much money you steal, you're still going to want to spend it. And obviously one of the quickest way to move around money is probably making transactions, because if you're moving around with cash, you're probably going to be you're not going to be very comfortable. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of people still end up using the banks, and this is one of the reasons why it's very easy to sort of figure out which transactions are questionable. And when you do so, it's very easy to track and know who was sending what to who, etc. So this is one of the reasons why we obviously saw this particular story coming through from again, is it News Diggers? So hold on, let me just share that with you. So as you can see right over here, this was done a few hours ago. Okay, so FIC cracks whip on Stanbic Bank for failure to report suspicious financial transactions. And this is one of those things that you people need to understand, right? If you're going to be conducting any, illegal transactions, the banks do communicate with each other. The FIC does work with the banks, and it's going to be very easy for them to notice illegal and suspicious transactions. Now, due to the fact that they have particular thresholds, aka limits, obviously when transactions of a higher threshold are detected, right? It's very easy for them to be interested in what type of business you do, where the money is coming from. Is this money illegal? Is it legal? etc. So this is one of the reasons why but legitimizing whatever money you are unlawfully obtaining, that's where the biggest issue is. And obviously, if you are part of Z Corner, right, obviously during, or rather in the past months, we have extensively talked about how money laundering works and how basically to not be a victim of money launderers, because by the end of it all, money launderers do love to use different people. This is one of the reasons why, for example, Slake Wings, Mulusaka, they are running businesses on behalf of these big wigs, because by the end of it all, these big wigs, aka the big fish, need to make, or rather legitimize their money. So these are all the things that you need to know. So I can see some comments coming through. I can see Sikwa Barocheland Muchwani watching from Lusaka Mtendere. So Avena Lusaka Mudishani. Tezi Kamwenda says watching from Batoka. Batoka, where is Batoka? Which province is Batoka? Batoka, but I do remember Batoka Gorge. Tekumaru Wapula Northern somewhere. Austin says watching from Ndola. Agatha says, indeed, you're a Coppola guy just from your accent when you speak Bemba. Of course, if when we switch yeah, so Chanda says listening from Lusaka Blow. Okay, I see you. Noah Banda says watching from Kumbi Mkushi, Avena Mkushi. By the way, what things are in Mkushi? Because I'm about to start traveling within Zambia, because I want to see our beautiful country, because we have amazing landscapes. So if you represent any province that has got these amazing things, or rather locations, just let a brother know, let me know, and we'll obviously visit those things, because by the end of it all, we have to promote our country, and we have to promote we have to travel. So this is one of the reasons why we live Dubai. No, stop doing that. Start traveling within Zambia. Make sure you support all the businesses, the tourism industry, etc. Because by the end of it, all right, okay, let me just be honest with you. I've never been to Livingston. I've never seen Victoria Falls, Marshall. So, but it's not my fault, Yeah, but I'll correct that particular situation. We can make our own moves now. So we'll be paying for ourselves, and we'll be going to these particular locations. So it's very important. Victoria Falls. So this is one of the reasons why we're going to be aggressively traveling within Zambia. So Brighton Muzwakachana says watching from Lusaka, Zambia. Good. Clement says watching from Kanakat. All right. Kanakatam. Okay. I can't really pronounce that. Susan Nkata watching you from Botswana, Gaborone. So that's very good. We are global. Good evening, bro. Yeah, good evening to everybody watching us. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please you are invited. The link is in the description. In case you want to be part of this particular program, kindly join using the link in the description, so that we have this particular conversation. Because oh, and by the way, before I forget, so do you remember Jason Musonda, Mr. Jason Chipepo Musonda? He was one of those lone protesters during those times, yeah, the brutal Zambia. Hold on, let me just let me just find him, so I can refresh your memory. So yeah, let me just take 1 second to share it. So hold on. He has been promoted. He has been remembered by the new Dawn government, and this is very, very good. I'm sure you remember him. There was this particular time, right? He really took a bold step because a lot of us, we are cowards, including myself. Including myself. We are cowards. We do not want to do the right thing, even though we see that there is obviously something wrong which is happening. But he's one of the few Zambians that we have that are very brave and very courageous. And sometimes we need to reward the brave, because this is the only reason why people are going to be able to come out in the open and say, look, I know this is wrong. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this. I know, these people are infringing the rights of Zambians as a youth. Let me do something about it. So when such people are rewarded, by the way, he was promoted as a police inspector. So this really brings sanity, and it really encourages young people in the future to do the same, because they know, look, if I'm brave, if I'm courageous, if I stand out if I stand up for my people, one day I might be rewarded. I might be given those amazing stars, etc. So this is definitely important. Brother James, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Good evening.
Fine. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Oh, we are good.
Hello.
So have you? Hi. How are you doing?
You say yes. I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. So
How are you?
today's topics. I'm good. Today's topics.
Yes, sir.
What's your contribution? Number one, we've got the HoneyBee pharmacy situation. Are you satisfied? Are you one of those people who were using defective condoms? Now you don't use condoms.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. I'm telling you. No, takwava. Alala. That's why I always say, to alichujire muri ubuteko bwalipo. Pali nonshitako twingalanda as the host. Twali mwa fyo bukalamba sana nga abantu nga twali bapena kambi 5 years. Katushi nonshita ngoko tofikire nonshita. So abantu ifo twalishiba. Katushi bakatupereka fena namba yaba SCC, because we know where these guys, they are even planted ama flats see bali kula ma flats saying sana mukito muno twikala. We have seen. So twalasanga chati finti mutafire control, but they have hide most of properties there in Kitwe, Lusaka, everywhere. Katoka tafuna ma connection yako, but one day mwatopa kufina namba yaba SCC otuato abantu chabe fine you know those people.
No, but
so
bosses,
my contribution.
Yeah. For example, I'm a numbers Java ACC. You can easily Google that and find those numbers.
Okay.
That's how we kid pocket that number Java ACC. It's very easy information to get a hold of. The actual Poksanga number Java ACC. Then what you can do is you can, personally visit them. Mutinesh.
Awo tetukwate no mwenso chalo chesu chino nga chaliona ike chalo chino nga chaliona ike sefe shelo ko tulanda yonse ko bati amafani HoneyBee aya people who find that abantu bajitire fibi sana, but at the moment usangata abantu they are going freely kodwa ngaphepo free chitika at wish utamba kwa Africa china mada shomo ya Africa ngota samufata abantu baenda ke freely, but bale kitana attack ubuteko if you like government, but is moving and I'm a project up but to find that the same people, because never sang out never quite freedom we don't talk with them or PF. So that's all my own contribution I can contribute.
Ngamunetila poshan pariba Jason Musonda Chipepo Abadi remembered and he's been promoted as well. What do you think about that? Like what does that how does that affect the psychology of citizens?
No, that person I think Marisha sana Jason Chipepo ni ulo muntu wa mnyine pa fishinka no kulande fintu ifi alirosha kuchintu wingi. That person even disclose ko but mu police mwale ba corruption I think if Baba study state no kuba kusonta, you get a lot of encouragement. That person bad sambira ba just on Chipepo. But he knows what for bad tikishwe mu system ya police or for yard. So I think we expect a lot from him. Since Baba study in state and then he is promoted on that position, I think he know what he was doing, what he was complaining. I think bala bombera papalichi. Bala isho kubombera.
Then now there's a potential of having a cyclone or a tropical storm which might potentially hit the Makamaka Kuma Southern province, like in Fudasan. Are you prepared? How are you preparing?
Yes. Although it's if Zambia chala bakwati cheni ukupokera ekyamusango ekyo. What is needed is just sensitize ku baana, especially kuba kweta abaana bali ku masukulu na fimbi tuwe twasensitize abaana twayeba abaana kuba ti kintu kireesa na effect irefumamu sisi n'abatoye but sometimes it can even kill someone. So we need to protect ourselves. That is the most important thing. We need to protect ourselves each and every time. We need to protect our children. We need to teach how this is coming. Yeah.
Definitely. And what do you think about the DMMU? Is it Nani? DMMU boss, Mr. Gabriel Poland. Do you like his proactiveness?
Yeah, that person, I think I like it very much. That person, I like it. I think he's showing a difference between him and the former DMM here. Because we have seen his actness, the way he's doing things. You can see that this person is not what he was doing, what he's doing now than previous. We haven't seen that the previous Nankan going kuma ukudama problems kudama frauds. We didn't. He was just sitting in the office. But this person, you can even see Mwalikuma Rivers, he go and check my project. Oh, you can even see him going that side personally. So I think I don't have any problem with that person.
Right.
I thought
Brother
according
James,
to his CV, is working.
Yeah, and that's a very brilliant observation. You said according to his CV, right? Because what we discovered is in the previous regime, and to be honest, I'm a viewers, I really hate bringing up the previous regime, but at the end of it all, we have to sort of compare with something, and this is what humans do. Humans love a point of reference, So obviously, people are saying you guys have to move on. It's the elections are over. Move on, stop producing results. But what we're saying is we're always referring to the previous regime because that's our immediate point of reference. And what we witnessed during the previous regime is a lot of people didn't really know what their job title or rather what their job recommended them to do. But this time around, right,
Exactly.
if we see a lot of appointments that have been made, I mean, it's only been barely 6 months, but we can see there's obviously a difference. But the naysayers would say, Nikuma festive, vakanaka. But according to you, do you think President Hichilema has got a different approach with regards to how he picks and appoints people?
Yeah. With my understanding, you can see the difference between the predecessor and our current president. The way he's selecting the office bearers in the offices. Sometimes you can condemn. It's not everything that we can condemn. We did this and this and this. According to humbleness of the president HH, you can see the people he's appointing that they are performing well. The only department which I have seen that we have should be means of information. I think I'm not happy with that person.
Why is that?
According to my understanding, I don't know what is different because I have seen because when you
all right, are you still there, Brother James?
You compare the previous don't know the title of his and how it works. Means of information, we are very behind because you don't give information to the people. What is needed to give the information to the people.
All right, Brother James, I think we are sort of losing you. So what you need to do is you need to rejoin Maybe right now the internet is a little bit
Yes, I'm
stable.
still here.
All right. Okay. Okay. I think now
I'll
it's a
come
little bit
back. I'll
stable.
come back.
Okay. So just rejoin because
Okay.
we're having a little bit of hiccups with the network. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me also remind you, I go by the name of Muna Nalula. That's my super long name, very repetitive, but hey, it is what it is. Kindly share this video. I can see we have over 176 people watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and our secondary Facebook page. So hit the like button, like this video right now, and share this video on your Facebook page, on your own Facebook timeline, and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. And also, if you do want to participate and be part of this particular live stream, please check out the link that I'm posting right now. So kindly join and be part of this because I want to hear your opinions. Because by the end of it all, this is not really about propaganda. Because a lot of people are going to be saying, "Look, you want money we have been hired. Yeah, hired gun. Look, nobody's hiring me. You know." So this is one of the reasons why I'm extending this particular gesture to you so that you can be able to give us your unfiltered opinions, because by the end of it all, Ichalo Bantu. And this is what we need to do. We need to let the people breathe. We need to have a therapeutic session. Not to kulanyantirira insambu shabantu. Obviously, the new Don has done a recommendable, or rather, a very fabulous job with regards to media rights, because we all saw what happened in the previous regime. There I go again, talking about the previous regime, right? You see how I'm always talking about the previous regime. I think people are going to get over the previous regime, I guess, after the next elections, if you know what I'm saying, because now people are going to be comparing the UPND to the UPND, but I'm off on a tangent as usual. So what was I saying? So the fact of the matter is you need to participate in national issues. And yesterday we had a very interesting conversation with Honorable Emmanuel Banda, representing Petauke Central Constituency, and he did strongly recommend that the youths need to participate. And this is one of the reasons why Z Corner is the platform for the youths. I mean, of course, everybody is welcome. Imisepela, I'm a senior citizens, I'm a seasoned citizens, because by the end of it, this is not really between I'm a youth and I'm a senior citizens, because we all need each other. We need that experience coming through from the seasoned citizens so that they can impact the knowledge in us, and the youths need to sort of pick up the mantle and continue this particular journey. And then we are supposed to pass on the baton to the next incoming generation. So this is one of the reasons why we definitely need to take these issues very, very seriously. So looking forward to all your participation. So a kind reminder, continue sharing this video, because there's a lot of things to talk about. And today I just wanted to give you a rant, and just basically talk about nothing in particular. So yeah, getting back to the tropical storm, right? What are the implications? The economy, buildings, livelihoods of a lot of people are obviously going to be affected. And this is one of the reasons why I'm praying that I really hope Zambia doesn't really get to be hit that hard. And if you look at the geographic location of Zambia, right, obviously Zambia is a landlocked country, or rather a land-enabled country. We've got access to several borders, and this is one of the reasons why we are a little bit secluded from the oceans. There's a sizable distance between our country and the oceans, etc. So this is one of the reasons why we could be exempted from really having a very severe cyclone hitting Zambia, which is at least something that we can thank the Lord about. And this is one of the reasons why probably we're not going to be affected that much. However, there are going to be bad things happening, etc. So we just have to be prepared. And this is one of the reasons why I was very happy that the DMMU, Mr. Gabriel Paulin, is already proactive. He's preparing. He knows that this is something that could potentially affect Zambia and Zambians a whole lot. So this is one of the reasons why we're saying, look, this is what we need. We need people to do what they have to do. We need these, the people that we employed as a nation to do what they have to do. So big shout out to everybody watching us right now. I can see some people saying, watching from Lusaka. So it really seems we have a lot of fans from Lusaka. Mweva Kulma Lusaka will be coming to you because we're going to be having workshops very soon. So as ZKona, we're going to be conducting workshops across Zambia, because by the end of it, we want to make sure that we've got healthy citizens, healthy youths, and we also want to make sure that we've got skillful youths, because by the end of it all, right, if we do not have a skillful citizenry, we're not really going to develop. So how do we make sure that we impact a lot of knowledge in the citizens? We provide education. Education is obtained using various means, and I know for a fact that a lot of people we're talking about your degree, this degree, that, I do understand that education, well, a degree, which is an academic qualification, is important to some extent. I do understand that, but there are a lot of people who do not really have the privilege of, making sure that they get educated to the highest level. So what happens in that particular case? You can't continue crying over that. You have to sort of figure out a way to pick yourself up and do what you have to do. And you can do several things. You can do a lot of professions that allow you to get an education for about 6 months, 3 months, and you just continue providing and sustaining yourself. So it's not really necessarily about each paper, degree or master's, etc. It's about how you apply yourself. It's about how you maneuver and how you network, etc. So there are obviously a lot of things that you need to apply in order for you to be successful. So please do not ever get intimidated and saying, look, just because I don't have a degree, I can't really compete. Because by the end of it, all right, most of a lot of entrepreneurs don't really have academic qualifications in terms of a paper, but they do have skills, they do have experience, they do have knowledge over whatever industry niche they're trying to get into. So Mwiratina, don't feel discouraged. Just make sure you apply yourself, you network, you know how things work, and you can still make it. But of course, I'm not promoting the lack of education here. I'm not trying to do that, So yeah, Leonard Chiwala, welcome, my brother. How you doing? I'm very good. Thank you for saving me. I was like, Jesus, am I going to continue talking the whole time? But we can improvise. So I can see somebody like Kabinda Mahuma saying, what is the difference between commendable and recommendable when you are thinking recommendable but talking about commendable? My teachers are Muntu and me, I'm just a lay person. Big man, we're still learning that if you talk my degree movie song with in fact in Shfilender and the net song with Zambian, Zambian. So yeah, anyway, recommendable, commendable, etc. So Abena Leonard, how are you doing? Good evening. How are you, my brother? I'm very good. Your voice, your sound is a little bit muffled. It's either you're blocking the mic using your fingers or something. So just make sure you're a little bit closer. Or maybe it's my thing. Let me try using the other earpiece. Hello? You there?
Bluetooth is ready now. I think I'm now okay, right?
Oh, good.
Are you able to get me now?
Loud and clear. I can see Brother Chambo coming through. Happy New Year. So happy New Year to Avena South Africa. Chuena, man. So yeah, Avena Chambo, it's good to have you, my brother. Looking forward to having a conversation with you. So, Brother Leonard, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm just killing time here. I'm just having a therapeutic session with my people.
That's a good one. That's a good one. It's amazing to see that the HoneyBee scandal is finally paid back. Eh?
But the thing is, do you think there are going to be more big fish that could obviously get implicated in this particular situation, or the type of people that we're seeing? These are probably collateral damage. Do you think there are more people involved?
To say it's most likely there are more people behind it, but it just goes with the degree of protection which is there. You know, those guys who occupied big positions, they made sure that they cleaned the place, the people who are protecting them. It's like they're just a group of people. Even I would give an example. You can't tell me to say until now the ACC, the DEC, they don't have ministers, former ministers who they can at least have. By now they would have them arrested. Those guys they know, but it's like they were paid handsomely, whereby they can't bring them out. It means that, to my thinking, it's like we would need an extra hand that can go way much deeper in looking into these issues, and like the same people were in the same system. Because at times I get to question myself. Look at this, Mona. I'm a police officer. I'm the
you
person
are,
who's
or
handling.
is that a figurative? Is that figurative speech, or you are?
No, it's a figurative speech.
Okay, cool, okay, good. Just wanted to clarify that.
It's an example, yeah. So like I'm a police officer. I've been handling cases of cadres beating up people, but I'll still release them. They just bring them. Oh no, they're not the ones. I release them. Then, in a blink of an eye, things change. Do you think that I'll be able to bring back to book those cadres that I was releasing some time back? Like, okay, they have this case, but I'll just let them go. Do you think I'll bring them to book to say this time around you have to be jailed when they paid me properly?
Yeah, unlikely.
So those are some issues that I get to look at it to say, the SEC needed, it just doesn't need the heads to be cleaned out. No, it also needed the subordinates, because those are the guys who are mainly sent to do the checkings. And those are the guys who goes in the field, not the SEC head of director and all those. So in this issue of fighting corruption and bringing those guys who stole lots of money to persecution, I'd feel like would want an extra hand out of government that can help the government to work through that, if that can be applied. Definitely, we've got lots of people who have to pay back a lot of things. But for now, it's a little bit skeptical and tight because they cleaned the system. And you heard the head of state saying, the Clique of Thieves has already started teaching my ministers how to siphon money.
Right.
So which gives to say these guys, they still have power, they still have position, they're still there. You get? So we need that thing. We still have a long way to go. A lot of big guys that are there, and this case of HoneyBee can easily.
I think Vena Triplet Munanku is having some issues. He'll probably be back. Yeah, go on, Brother Leonard.
Yeah, so I was saying, like the HoneyBee scandal, Muna, that scandal involved lots of money, first and foremost. Secondly, those were medications that were brought to the people of Zambia. Not only those who were in opposition back then, including those who were in the ruling party who supported them, they also consumed the same medication that was brought. So, for such an award to be given, it had a very big fish who definitely pushed for that agenda, made sure that those guys get the contract. Because are you even aware that during the PF time we had the likes of milling companies that no longer exist now, and you'd go to Parkland and check, they'll tell you that they don't exist.
Exactly. A lot of such incidences were occurring, but why? Why do you suppose that was happening?
No, I've got there in Copper Belt. Do you still see the bags of Mirimeriti and Jimbala?
Pasó apa, no, we know. But a while back, though, they were very common. A while back, you know, they were very prominent, right?
But Aliko, like I watched the other day, this guy, these guys for the UPND guys. I'm trying to be not Liswaniso, but that other one, the one who stood as a councillor, the one who won the councillor in is it Kamwala? There was an interview they had at TV. The guys, they had a list of companies. Yeah, the guys, they had a list of companies that were awarded contracts, but they were not registered at PACLA, including the same milling companies that existed then, but they're not registered, but they were in existence. They were the ones who were even supplying maize outside.
Right. So if you take a look at such type of information, right, awarding contracts to not legally registered corporations or companies, entities, etc. So why do you suppose that was the part of the playbook in order for them to siphon money from the Zambian coffers? Why do you think that was the easiest route to use in order for them to conduct their illegal, shady businesses, etc.?
Mona, it was very easy. That's the easiest way of stealing money indirectly. Because let's take it for instance, like here in Kafue, there is a contract that's supposed to be awarded for drainage system.
Right.
Yeah, that contract for drainage system, I'll look at it, me as a minister or as a person who's connected to it, and say, Honorable, you can award me that contract of the drainage system here in Kafue. Then, since he's also involved, since they're also involved and interested in eating money, they'll definitely give me the same contract. Let's say a contract which is worth it maybe 1 billion. They'll estimate to say there's a contract that has been awarded in working on drainage system and road patterns in Kafue worth it 7 billion. Maybe I am paid the 3 billion, 2 billion goes to my pocket, 1 billion goes to the construction, the rest goes to the person who did what, who authorized and pushed that thing to happen. Because those are lots of ways that lots of ministers contribute their money from. They'll push for a certain project and overestimate the amount that is supposed to be used so that they're able to siphon money to their pocket. Like we've got people who are poor went to parliament, but they became broad day rich people. Imagine we're even told to say, what is 2 million? 2 million yakuya mkuchitira fe shopping mwabwerako.
MCOI. And if you look at the magnitude of the amounts of money that were involved with regards to these dubious companies, aka entities, right? If you look at the HoneyBee scandal, right? And of course, we have Brother Oscar coming through. He is a medical or rather health personnel. He's going to be telling us the effects of such things in a short period of time. So if you take a look at the magnitude or rather the size of this particular contract, 17 million US dollars. Now, if you look at the various industries that were being used to siphon money, this wasn't just happening with the medical fraternity, right? The health fraternity. This was happening across the board. Inflated contract prices where people, or rather these companies, were just doing bogus type of works, and they were probably just stealing money in broad daylight. So 17 million US dollars is a very, very huge amount of money, especially when you are providing such a mediocre service. And not only on top of that, right? Look at the implications of supplying expired medicines or defective condoms. Do you know the repercussions of such an act? This is just evil at its highest order. I can't even fathom how evil these people are. But of course, we understand everybody has got an appetite for money. We understand. But hey, on your quest to make money, at least, you have to be moral. At least try to think about the majority of people, because a lot of people were affected. Can you imagine these particular condoms? If not, to careful, condoms nango. But look at this. you know, file suma na fitulika etc. Mwana wa bene being exposed to bad things due to the fact that there's a Bwana somewhere presiding over these illegalities. So these are the things that we shouldn't condone. At least this is one of the reasons why I'm saying, look, akare once kwale bafati turedi amo abafiashi bakutumata muna kashteko tu bread up bakupsha nishinga bread walanda ta ni 1500 kwacha but nishi bread ni 1200 etc. Mama neka. So I'm not condoning anything, but what my point is, do not steal. You know, do not steal. At least try to just get a bonus or something. Maybe if you say, okay, if I do this work, I'm going to get a 20% bonus. You know, get that bonus on top. And at least there are several legal ways of obtaining money. You know, you just don't have to put the majority of the people's lives at risk by, you know, being extremely selfish. And if you look at this HoneyBee pharmacy, right, it was very, very hard to agree with that particular decision to for this particular company to be given such a huge contract, you know, because from nowhere. You understand? So obviously these were
what come Chinese nation at HoneyBee.
So at least
because with these maximums, Mona, with me, it didn't take the media to notice them. I've got friends who are in the health fraternity. Then I was in Senanga back then. A friend of mine was telling me, the boy, careful with these condoms. Chireyali tulikaengi. So to achiraisura box sanga tfi fyali fumefing. Then bachambo kwesho kupomba umwera ole fuma. Then yakae na yashafe kwa tina ifurisha teferingire yaba condom fi. So then he came with one box. That's how we opened the chela. So number ama condom manish. Bari teve power clinic pa mie nwepo ya turika na chat. Haita turi sure kozi. Ya furisha nganfa clinic pa mofi. So you get, so in that process, in that act, lots of people got contaminated, not because they do what they were doing, but because we had selfish people with selfish mindset who don't care about the majority of people, but instead the minority group of how they were sharing those monies. You get lots of people, because you can even say if you put that no you'd find that it's because of such things. Protect, not knowing that the things they were using, they were not. If you don't guys walk to me na phone at no, I'm pregnant, wasakana whatever shanine fumona wamfeshe condom. You get, so all those things would lead into different kind of notion that would bring up different kind of looks, because it's not normal. Mona, we've used the protection, then someone calls me and says I'm pregnant. Wala I'm the person kusumina much less okay fpangi kwatati take your friend obe mwakumenefe imbifya fine kumabwalo mwasendana. Then after a month usaka tari kwa tef modio iwe kumanya fe kuba to na maximum lero nje atina kwa tef uli normal buno. Are you going to accept that?
Actually, I could try potato. Na you know economy. Opoveva honorable boy is having a tough time. He's honorable boy itikama bagamba. What's more for Piopio?
So such issues vale kanokwa vula baonale vale kanok sponsor aba nero ine nara perera kwe kukana ve fishy for injury.
But we are not condoning such behaviors. Abantu kuti bakusowe. Kudi aba novendo kubalera ndacha vale kana mafumo.
No. So like such issues, so like I would love to say to the end of this, lots of lives were implicated on such an act of hiring or giving a contract to the HoneyBee who brought expired drugs. And I wouldn't only say expired drugs. Twasa kwata na shortage ya miti mufipatara mona. Wali yapo kliniki, bale kwa tabako ete Piliton. Ero nchitina mkwata outbreak ya chifine na flu. Piliton tabako ete, we have to go and buy Piliton. A simple medication Piliton.
So either in a big man to run that. That's why kuma Africa ku lifespan big man. Yeah, the chepana. lifespan abalumendo balafira yakwe bati umuntu afika ve 40 akomoka zona ine yakwe bati ama products muma nefuma bwaro efyo fo bashita consumer abanya matefi fyali ba counterfeit, everything is counterfeit. Yakwe bati big man ga afika 40 umuviri bakamba na ukomoka kale because kufutala ama medicines yari expired uye kuma shop time fyonse vile expired ile bakamba yakwe ati trafe no hikara fezo na mwaida ine fyo bwina because everything is compromised. Tetu puske upeme kumwela kuri fee center waro ama bronchitis ama nani amenso yayo, so that's why ukamona abenga aba guy mu Zambia ukamona amenso yali bafe red skin yali the pauka bali bafe nani unhealthy because everything is compromised. Mamonen ka standard, we do not have any health standards. The water that we consume compromised, everything compromised. So that's why we need to really turn around our country and make sure we've got standards. When it comes to medications, there has to be a certain criteria that has to be followed. There has to be, I'm a standards. Number procurement process yari turika. So why can't be big money 60 to 20 money? 60.
Yeah, because some generation yes we 60 because wada wichite fya kulia ulea mastozo mushiteko fina ngwenko kwera kali ubunangani bwa gaere I can't start taking jambo kupusula kako koshanjani usenda already cutted pieces cash viko kwa basungire family 1 month 2 weeks fya ina nemiti bafika ma shopping malls, we end up buying like that. So like yeah, we definitely need tight policies that have to look into the medication that is brought into Zambia, how well and how proven and good is it? The foods that are coming in from outside, how good are they? The foods that are sold in this shopping complex, how good are they? How sustainable are they? Because I will tell you what is what happened like what in is varashana ama chips ama potato cuts pilingaka what ma chips yokusenda pamposa fe papani. So like all those. So you'd be surprised that all those potatoes they're not packed from here in Zambia. Maybe they're packed from South Africa, Botswana. They're just brought in Zambia. Now, who has tested those foods? Who has checked to see that those foods are okay? They can easily be consumed. They won't cause any damage to a normal Zambian.
Correct.
So today, Zambia, like we need a tight security that is going to look into the well-being of a poor Zambian, the way to do Zambian regarding food, medication, the water that we drink. What kunekondekara walino pa mensh muna ref makutapu kwati na kwata dust. Ule no mensh ref kwati na kwata dust.
Mensh ya reku kama pamukoshe.
Na kwata dust amu.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why we're taking advantage of. I'm sorry to cut you off, Brother Leonard. This is why foreigners, when they come to Zambia, right, they do not really respect us because we do not respect ourselves. If you go to all these developed nations, big man, so when they see our culture, right, we are a citizenry, or rather a population that don't really care about ourselves. So when they come, they'll obviously do the same. And you obviously saw the report. It's because they know, nobody's going to complain because it's part of their culture. It's part of their, so when you're in Rome, do what the Romans do, because we do not respect ourselves. Anyway, Brother Oscar, welcome to the show. How you doing? What is your contribution?
Thank you, Mr. Mona. Good evening, and good evening to my friend Leonard.
Fine.
Thank you. I'm okay, doing fine. It's cold. It's the standard weather now. We have about -1 degree, so outside is quite cold. Outside is quite cold, and we prepare ourselves and. We make our rooms and our working places quite comfortable and warm.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Actually, I've just remembered. Mona, did I even tell you that yesterday when I was live, it was raining. It started raining yesterday around 17, and today around 16, it was raining heavily.
But I did hear some rain
interview.
noise in the background. Oh, okay. But nothing
And
bad
just because
happened,
of
right?
the clickbait.
Okay.
So far we haven't heard any news concerning these other issues. But in Chinsali, there's some trees that have fallen. Like a workmate of mine just posted one saying we need the DMMU kuno piapo ne fimit like close by kuma offices yao.
Yeah, I see. Oh man, I just pray that at least we're not really going to be affected that much. Otherwise, it's going to be really a huge setback if things, like if anything of your penasan.
Yeah.
But they're saying, according to the geographical, but my guys were learned that we're likely to have warmer floods in most parts of Zambia. Let's just hope that if it changes, because if it goes that way, brother Oscar, please give us what you have for us.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, I would love maybe just to continue with the discussion about the problem with the weather focus. I think it is not only in Zambia now; it's a worldwide change. Even here, we have now floods, which really they are destroying everything. They will take vehicles, trucks, they pull them towards the oceans. It's quite devastating. And some of the towns in the southern part of Italy, some of the towns now have been evacuated because the water is just unsustainable. And you can imagine the roads, they become rivers. Roads, they become rivers. So what might happen maybe in the southern part of Africa, the southwestern part, Mozambique, the southern part of Zambia, southern province, southwestern province. What might happen, we hope it does not happen, but what might happen is actually what is happening worldwide. Not only it's going to happen in Zambia or in southern province. So I think here, for example, here now, for the past 3 years, we have been experiencing things like that. And also, in Italy, we have also the earthquake problem. So you can imagine there is earthquake, there is now the waters and all these climate change consequences. And so what has happened, they are even changing. You change now the system of construction of houses and every building. They have started working on the river bounds. Where there is a river, they take those machines, those big machines, to go and clean the rivers. You don't leave the river blocked with the rubbish. Our streams and rivers are full of dumped garbage, which blocks the flow of a river, the natural flow of a river. So here in Europe, what we are doing now is to introduce now the cleaning of the river bounds and the river flow itself. They have these big, huge machines who enters even in the river, and then they are cleaning. They have to clean all the rubbish that makes an obstacle to the natural flow of the waters are removed before the rainy season. So I think that is one of the solutions they are they have adapted actually, so that they can curve and prepare themselves whenever these disasters coming. And the other thing, of course, Mr. Moon, I think you can side by me with this. The other thing is the quality of construction of houses and any building, business building, private or public. The construction, the style of construction, they are now giving a standard way of making any construction. If I can look at our poor people in the southern province, the way they construct those small huts, you have seen, even in small waters, they can go and they just blow off their simple sheets, roof sheets, and they just fly like birds. They are flying like birds. Now, also, I think I think in the near future, we hope the government can come out with a program to give away a standard of constructing, even if it's a small hut. But they can give some engineers, they study something so that even the heavy winds, Mr. Mona, cannot blow off easily those roof sheets. Look at the schools. They have just done the school after just a wind blowing, and all the roof sheets they're off, gone, and walls flowing, dropping down. So instead of constructing and building the nation, actually we are just need to reverse you, Amona. This is really doing a reverse.
Yeah, imagine. It's very unfortunate, but it's going to take a while, brother Oscar. I mean,
Yeah.
excuse me. As much as we would love, all these specific, standardized way of doing things, we haven't reached that level yet in our, Africa, basically, because. Let's say, for example, Kumamishi, you need to be constructing your houses like this, that. It's obviously going to be very expensive for them, and it's going to be a huge inconvenience. But of course, if the government can try to save as much money as they are trying to do with regards to curbing corruption, of course we can get to solve these things, and we can get to make amendments, etc. Because we have we have all that it takes, but it just takes that determination, if I can put it that way. But it is a very good suggestion, brother Oscar. We need to make sure that we prepare ourselves and prevent things from happening, because if you look at most developed nations, they do keep these things in mind. The way they construct everything, they do prepare for natural disasters, calamities, etc., because it's part of life. It's part of life.
Yes.
But for us, if we do ikada fe mwaida ine mpuro avezo ne vya kusanga ni yobo satin mwaida ine so we need to change the way we do things, otherwise that's why we need to be talking about these things so that we make these changes.
You can even see what I come from Kitwe, so I have just discovered some people have constructed houses very close to Kafue River. When you reach Kitwe, that Kafue Bridge, going to the right now, they have constructed hotels. They have constructed bed and breakfast, or I don't know what you call those buildings, bars and houses very close to the Kafue River. So imagine just the water, the raise of some water, it means disaster. It doesn't mean that God is bad. It's not God who is bad. It's our plan. How can we go and construct a building close to the river bank? How do you go and construct there? So many people, even the growing of our crops, some of the areas where our poor mothers and our poor sisters and brothers are growing something, Mr. Muna, it's just a disaster place. We just need the heavy rainfall, and everything is gone. It's gone. Yeah. And so I think also just to look, this is a question of, engineering. The councils, they have engineers. They can help the people. We have technicians, we have engineers. I don't know their job. Myself, I don't know the jobs of the council engineers.
And if you look at Zambia and Africa, to be precise, right, we don't really put a lot of effort with regards to research and development. This is one of the reasons why we don't discover anything. We don't solve our problems, because research and development, so at least these are the things that need to be done to promote innovation, to promote proactiveness, and basic things that we can use, because we've got a lot of graduates. We can utilize that manpower, but research and development is basically non-existent because we do not treasure these things. Therefore, I feel Musonda says, "You stay in zone." We need to take we need to do these things by ourselves, but we're mature enough as a nation. 1964 till date, These are the things that we need to be pushing etc.
Yeah. And Mr. Muna, if you can just allow me maybe to underline 3 things. I've been listening to you, your
My rant.
preamble, and
Yes, that's pante fade big.
yes, yeah, that's good. That's good, my dear. You are creative. That is being creative, and geniuses are just like that sometimes. You know, a genius is somebody who does something extraordinary.
But anyway, continue.
Okay, so if you can just allow me, I think you touched arguments like the Zamra scandal, and you touched the argument of I wanted also to say a word on this morning. I heard the information minister, Mrs. Kushika Sanda, I think, and when she said the government, the Chinese government, is going to give Zambia some vehicles and some gifts to this government. And then the third one, so I would like to talk about these gifts that might come from China. Second, to talk about the Zamra scandal, especially a young man who is called the Kanyika Jerome, Mr. Mona, if you remember that guy.
Yes,
he's a pharmacist. Yes, he's a pharmacist. And the third one maybe
just a minute.
Yes.
The person you're talking about, he has been mainly involved on TV Vakwetu with Dr. Elas Munsha.
Yes. So, and the third one, Mr. Muna, is maybe quite a different issue, but I would love maybe just to say a word, and this is the comment of the Honorable Minister Elisha Mutambo, the comment he did with the defection ceremony in Kalulushi, when they welcomed a lot of PF defectors who joined the UPND. I would love maybe if I can mention one word about that one.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, thank you. So I would begin with the Zamra scandal. Of course, now that there is the court of ruled and somebody has been cautioned and judged, I would not enter into details of this scandal. But of course, even my brother, I think Leonard, had also talked about it. It was a shameful scandal, very shameful, which you cannot expect it coming from your leaders. This is unbelievable. Mr. Mona, I think you can give me credit on that. In Europe, such a scandal, you need only 2 hours, 3 hours before the minister involved can step down. Because in such a scandal, you don't need the police investigation. It's just to say, is it true such a thing happened? If they say, yes, it happened, then the minister involved, he steps down. Now, it is not like this in our Africans' political status, but it was a very shameful scandal, very shameful indeed, especially because it was coordinated with people who were guarding, people who were responsible of Zamra, people who were responsible of the health of the citizen. If I can think, Mr. Mona, from here in Europe, I don't know how many cases, police cases or court cases can be opened in this case. Because only that I was here in Italy. If I was in Zambia, I would have even gone to say, well. You
can sue them big time. A lot of people can sue them.
Man,
The state can go bankrupt.
I'm telling you how many people, how many Zambians can become rich. Only that I want to be Subachilumba in Zambia. You cannot go
No.
in out. It's nice. I am. Anyway, it was a shameful scandal which we could not expect. We hope it's going to be the past and buried. Our leaders, I think this time, even our former leaders in the Patriotic Front, if I was supposed to advise some of them, I was going to tell them to be silent in this time. This is the time to keep quiet, make a lot of introspection, listen to the Zambians, let the Zambians insult you because you deserved it. Don't defend yourself and keep quiet. Then the Zambians themselves, they might say, well, I think now Zambia nomba chapwa. Okay, then you come back. The arrogance in the former leaders, the arrogance continues even today. Some of them, they would like to convince the Zambians that nothing happened. And this is very, very bad. You cannot convince me that nothing happened. Wherever I look around, health scandals, transport, Mr. Muna, transport with that scandal with the Haiga buses, transport with the tankers, youth empowerment. It's an embarrassment.
Fire trucks.
Fire trucks. Those how do you call those? The tricycles, ambulance,
Tricycles.
tricycle, ambulance, everywhere, scandals, everywhere. And then some of our friends in the PF, they would say, well, come on, the president constructed a lot of infrastructures. And now how many debts? Zambia has never had 15 billion United States default. You gentlemen, whether you construct to me a flyover, a pendulum, a skyscraper, tell me, whatever you have constructed, if you come out, this is the mwaleta. Mwalalipira, not panga flyover. At nishinga nalalipira, at 12 billion United States dollars. Does it make sense? Mama, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This time, if you can manage to keep a little bit silent, listen from the complaints of the Zambians, they suffered a lot. 10 years of suffering, 7 years of suffering is not something simple. So, Inepali Jerome Jerome Wamuna, he was one of the young people who came out. He is one of those who started disclosing the scandals at Zambia. This guy.
Right.
We did not understand him, and the way he speaks English, sometimes I was laughing at this guy. I said, my goodness, the way he speaks English, he seems to be very funny. But the guy is... No. The guy was speaking so funny, but he's very bright, and he came out with something serious. That boy, something serious, and they stripped off his license, and he risks to be arrested. Not maybe even something much more. So even in the Zamora scandal, innocent people being harassed, innocent Zambians being shut up. Don't talk anything. Condoms, this and that. No, stop it. Shut up. And the use of the cadres were to say, don't open your mouth. They'll use the cadres now to shut everyone's opinion. Not even Even imwe mwine vamba pano imwe mavamuna nga mwalisalanda po fyakakwe vatshani na imwe mwine nga valime va shut up. Nomba
If a
imwe
big man, if a
mwachenjera
20, if we kuma early 2020, then I've been a chela tukutaira. Tamai mufuera poera. Yarisa wako brutal before chela tukta was arrested. Yeah, we had a very powerful live stream, and then a lot of calls were made and a lot of threats were made. But in a part one nekas nalula nshare but just people around me, bad things could have been done with regards to people around me. So we know these things. We know.
Okay, that's it. So thank you. So I finish with that. The Zamra thing. I won't go into details because now it is a police case. It's a court case. Then,
all right,
the minister, the Chinese gifts to the Zambian government. I don't hate any Chinese. I don't hate any country. But, Mr. Mona, there are events which has happened in Zambia. Chinese being put into the police forces. Chinese people selling dead chicken today. The scandal of today, did you hear that?
Yeah, I read about it. I did.
Dead chicken put into fridges. This is not, I'm not saying something which is not proved, because there's a minister went there and they saw everything. The evidence was there. Who were behind was the Chinese firm. Chinese supplying Haga buses. Haga buses, one of the Chinese guys supplied those Haga buses. And that's kind of these Haga buses, we have heard that after 1 year, they were down. They went back to the garage. No spare parts, no way of functioning. Come on, gentlemen. I repeat, I don't have grudge. I don't hate no one. I don't accuse any country. But I'm talking about the events which has happened in our country. And here comes my complaint. Even to the Minister of Information, Minister Kasanda, don't be proud by all these gifts coming in. Where did we ever had these people giving us gifts when we had problems? If at all we were going to receive the gift from this gentleman, Mr. Muna, we have 1.4 billion default. Why can't they cancel it? Question mark. That's the question. Cancel the 1.4 billion. Chinese friends, you guys, you are our friends. You want to give some buses, some motor vehicles to the Ministry of Health? Tell your government to cancel 1.4 billion United States dollars default. I don't even know now the amount, whether it is 1.5 or whether it is 12 billion. Cancel the 12 billion if you people, you want to do something good for the country of Zambia. I am giving you this proposal. I am not intelligent. I'm just a Zambian. By being a Zambian, I think if you want to do any charity work for Zambia, Minister Kasanda, listen to us as youth. Minister Kasanda, listen to us through this platform of Z Corner. Wonderful platform of Z Corner. Minister Kasanda, tell the Chinese government to cancel our debts. We are going to appreciate that one. We don't need vehicles. We have money to pay to the country, to China. Why should you bring the vehicles to us? Cancel the debt. That is the point. Then the last one. Let me just finish everything so that now I shut up also myself.
Yes, then we're going to pass it over to Joanne Moviana. She'll come through with all her points.
The last thing, the last thing is the question of Mr. Elisha Mutambo. Mr. Elisha Mutambo, the minister of Copperbelt, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they went to welcome a lady who was a former mayor in Kalulushi under the Patriotic Front. She defected and she brought in something like 1,000 PF members into the new party. And what happened in that event, Mr. Muna, there were some UPND foot soldiers who were angry about this defection. They said, we don't want them to come in. We, the people, we haven't even have a job. These guys, they complained, and I am going to give them credit myself. These young people, they don't have a job. And you are bringing in all those people, especially that you brought in the former mayor and the PF. If that former mayor had good intention, she was going to defect before the elections. She defected after they have fallen down. Ingombe yako na pansi ngombe na yamukwimye ngombe ro yalandati na alikutemwa palapene wachimini na ngepo wachinjebera. So those young ba Mr. Mutambo, honorable minister Elisha Mutambo, you cannot despise Abaichabo, even if they were they used the abusive language, whatever they said. They suffered. Mr. Muna, if you are at Copper Belt, in Copper Belt, Akainde Chilema was not able to enter Kopala. Those young people, they suffered a lot. If Mr. Elisha Mutambo was forgotten, those young people were beaten up. They burnt their houses. They went into their homes in the night to torture them. So, whether the Roba Ichiwakan, then this defection by Mr. Muna, they called the police. The police to guard this.
They really timed everything. They knew that there was going to be an uproar.
No, but that is state machinery. Why do you use state machinery to welcome XPF? Why? Why use state machinery? Honorable Minister Elas Matambo, I am ready to answer you if you want. Tell Mr. Muna, I will give you my number. You can even ask me. This is wrong. Ba Bowman Lusambo disgruntled youth, you don't listen, shut up. Ba Elas Matambo cannot tell those young youth, you can't scare me. Who are you? No, it's wrong. Those people, they suffered. Mr. Elas Mutambo, please do not start shaming and you are away. And this is the truth now. Let me tell you, the people who voted for UPND are not card holders. It is the ordinary Zambian people. By Elisha Matambo, listen to this. It's not UPND card holders who voted for Hakainde Chilema. It is us, the ordinary Zambian people. And today, don't insult us. Thank you very much. I think no,
that's justifiable, but we'll get back to those points. So let's pass it over to Sister Joanne Moviana.
Thank you, Muna. Good evening, panelists.
Good evening. Where's your video, by the way?
Today has just been a hectic day. You have to pardon me. My video has the icon able. It's a tough one to follow after such a brilliant submission by Brother Oscar there. But I think my contribution for tonight, I just want to second Oscar's sentiments on Jerome Kanyika. I think he's a great example of someone who walked the talk. Not only did he speak for millions of Zambians, but he actually did a lot to actually put down complaints and take people to task. And so tonight, I just wanted to challenge every Zambian who wants to make a difference in our country. Instead of just speaking about problems, commit to actually doing something. Just pick one thing, even just for a year. Pick a project that you're going to do personally and follow through with it and see how far we can take this. I mean, I like the idea of science and technology. I'm firmly passionate about that. I'm also passionate about literacy, financial literacy. I mean, there's so many problems, but I promise you the government will not solve all these problems by themselves. A lot of this stuff, we as the citizens will have to take up the mantle and do something about it. So instead of just complaining all the time, because I mean, Zambians, we can complain, we can talk all we want, but nothing will happen if we don't take action. So that's my challenge for everyone this evening.
Right.
Thank
So,
you.
talking about that, right? Like, for example, as ZCONA, we're going to be having a number of workshops in the second quarter of 2022. So you are welcome to participate. If you are passionate about science and technology, you can always participate. So we are in the works and we're sort of organizing it right now so we can make it a success. Because by the end of the day, you are definitely right. We can only talk as much, and there's also not going to be any tangible results. We need to be background, like they say, background. You know, we shouldn't just be social media warriors. We need to go out there, dance to the tune as well, and also face these people program. Because to be honest, brother Oscar, they are waiting for you. You think you're always going to be in Italy forever? You'll be back. They are waiting for you. So we need to go and face them per ground. We need to add value, and do whatever we can using our own capacity. And this is where your expertise, your experience, this is where now it matters. Okay, quite all right. You've got all those amazing degrees, your PhDs, and all that stuff. Now make them work. Try to raise money and put up structures, come up with workshops. Let us see what you have for us. So this is one of the reasons why we're supposed to be working with a timeline. And here we've put the second quarter of 2022. So April onwards, you're obviously going to be hearing what we're going to be doing background. So bagamba tureshupa sana background hapa. Tukapanga sana chongo mukatumfu hapo, obviously tukaingira hapo mna maseozi mufitakataka because you know, Kuzambe, that's the way it is. You know, in order for you to be impactful, you just need the queer pomoma prison. So brother Leonard, I can guarantee you in the next 6 months tukashupa sana pa ground hapa. Turefu atie pa ground because na tunakapama social media mwaida ine, and this is what we need to do, because by the end of it, or if we do not take the mantle, nobody's ever going to do that. And to be honest, ni nakasana pa social media, but it just takes organizations, etc.
Yeah, forever twende na wa second round. We don't have to give them space and the breathing. They need to know that the people who are concerned, you know, one thing that has been killing Zambia again is the situation whereby time of politics will run, then there goes time that now we need to be too vocal and have them bring them to book. We'll go quiet and say, what can we do? What can we say to alleviate if they only come to this? So another thing that I'll just say, like, you people who are in the diaspora, you people, you have opportunities of coming back here in Zambia, do some sort of investments, make the like the way Brother Mona said that the second round we're going to have workshops. You can easily help us by coming to, like, in Zambia, there are lots of opportunities when it comes to investment, and not the majority have a wider opening of seeing things. At least you people have been exposed in the diaspora. You know, there's some things that needs to be implemented here in Zambia that can really help our nation grow further. And then I'll be waiting to go back to the topics that you raised, Brother Oscar. I think we've got good touches that we need to talk about. Much less some Chinese around the.
Now, Brother Leonard, are you prepared to kuingira mufitakataka one time? Tumwacha hapo 21 days.
Actually, never. I think it was good na requesting ukwafula sana ba UPND, because I've been a very controversial person, and the few members of PF were going to question now. Like, I was chatting with the son of the one who lost my elections, kusenanga kubali ba standing in MP ba PF. Like, the son is my namesake, is Leo. His full name is Yoma. Chatting, I would even tell him, my friend, your father won't win. Ukwenda tabaka win. Nchita yabo wani ya lipita na abakota. Nchita kwa tuomwana ufere wa imanina and ebis. I would even tell him, say, these are things that we need to look at it. We just don't go because a ruling party eba de post of MP mkalale tukalale no kunuina, but at the end of it at the mifuaya.
And also due to the fact that the world is going to be experiencing tough times. So just like I said in my preamble, right? Obviously till 2026, because the world is probably having this cycle. Things are going to be tough. Things are going to be tough from a financial perspective, and also other avenues. It's just going to be chaotic. And this is one of the reasons why new heroes are going to emerge. There's going to be new stars. Probably in the next 20 years, we're going to be looking back and saying, look, during these tough times, a few people did manage to step up. So usually when the world is facing a lot of calamities, this is when brave people can have an opportunity to be leaders and set a path for others. Because abantu bonse bakalatina, but you guys here, Papa Z, Corner, and all that stuff, you enlighten people. You understand where we're going to go potentially as the world, and you understand that if into fika so at least from a psychological perspective, you are prepared, to just step up and do what you have to do. But guys, it's going to be a rough next 4 years all over the world. I mean, we're already seeing this Cyclone Anna. We're seeing all these storms, the incoming economic recession, etc. So it's going to be pretty rough. So if you can be prepared, especially as a youth, and add value, it will be pretty much welcome.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you wanted to add some points, well, with regards to what Brother Oscar talked about, then we can just have a rebuttal. So, gentlemen, lady, feel free to just talk about anything. Today, we're just having a therapeutic session, and we're just having banter here. We're just chatting and ranting pretty much. So, feel free to talk about anything that you would love to, handle. Brother, go on.
Actually, going back to Brother Oscar's points that he raised, those points are very, very genuine. I'll start with the Chinese gifts, and okay, let's start with the previous buses that those guys supplied. I think Chinese are to be blamed, and our leaders are to be blamed much, because there is no way that we had buses that were bought in Zambia that didn't have spare parts. That's a mere joke in the first place. It means, because Mona, as a business person, when you want to go into transport system, you're going to look at first the comfortabilities of the buses that you're ordering. Number one, the durability and serviceable. Are they serviceable? When it comes to servicing, how expensive are they? Are they going to pay me back what I've invested in? Are they going to pay me double? Am I going to be a different person in the next 3 to 4 years or a 5 years period of time? So this showed that the previous people who were in offices, they never cared about anything. The only thing they cared about was their pocket, because it doesn't make sense that buses only lasted for about 3 years. Amahaiga twaliyamona imo kwati yali sangwa kukuru mumba bus station that given them route to get. It's not making sense to see to it that basi yashitule kubuteeko ya haiga muli 4 years yashita disappear natkwata abene peace soldier. They've been in the bus system for a long period of years. Natkwata bena power tools, even Jordan. How are these people? How have they survived all this period of time until now that the government project failed drastically within 3 years? It shows that we had people in office who never cared, who had no responsibility, who had no leadership, but they were only there to consume and bossing up. Going to a second phrase that Brother Oscar said, of saying, the Chinese guys, I think, to my own thinking, after you raised it, it has come to my mind to say they're trying to give us gifts, trying to buy the friendship with the new Dawn government. I think I would put it in that way. They're trying to buy friendship, as they've been the best friends of the PF, who've been there giving them loans even when they knew they were failing to pay. They were busy giving them loans so that they would be able to implicate lots of Zambian assets like the Zesco. The Zesco's slowly going to be sold to the Chinese guys, in as much as we are failing to pay them back whatever we're owing them.
It's already been hijacked already. It's already been hijacked.
Like our policy system. Chinese more internal security as in police. What is the Chinese doing? So all those are things to show that the previous leadership we had, it was shambolic, that it never cared about the future of Zambia. They only looked at a shorter vision of them, how they're going to live from 10 years from now, how secured are they when it comes to their economic muscles and all things like that. So he give to the ma Chinese, but if kushitaka friendship okumwana tabama guys yababwerere, it's like tebeshile, because as it is, I think to my own understanding, Mozambia ma politics apa, yes, abako kwati kwa America, sorry for using this, yes, abako kwati the Democrats and the Republicans, to akwete baria, like the PF was supported heavily by the Chinese guys, so to say, in my own view and words. I don't know, Brother Oscar, if you can follow with me. And then these guys, the new...
I am following you, and you are not wrong. You are not wrong.
And then these guys, the new Dawn government, it's like they had other superpowers that was supporting them, like the USA example, given like the USA. Let's say bringing in, let's say the Germans that I know USA had. Yeah, the European guys like were heavily sponsoring these guys. So the Chinese guys, they're looking at this perspective to say, if we let these guys the way they are like that on a loose, it means we're going to lose everything that we've started in Zambia. But the best way that we can start this, let's more like start rebuilding the friendship now. Let's give them at least kotumioto kotu. They should keep on keeping us as brothers and as investors. I'm not against the coming in of Chinese. I've got lots of friends who've worked with Chinese, some that treated okay, some that not treated okay. What I've been against about is the situation whereby we used to receive about 1,000 Chinese in a daily basis entering Zambia. They're coming in Zambia as investors, they're not even investing like Brother Oscar. And can an investor leave China, come to Zambia and start selling maize at Kusit market? Baleshia mataba. Investor alef makuchina alesa mkushchenko kwesha white esho banti bandi balesunga. Some of my friends are keeping like, what sort of investment are they bringing? Because nangoine construction investment by na Chinese who are working, those are Zambians. Balese dama Zambians bale bomvye 24/7. So the level of investment bale allow by PF, it had much to be desired. Like we really I don't know how I can put it for lack of better terms, but those people never cared. Tetkubwele investor, ule samkusunge nkoko mkulima mataba, Mzambia le mafia mataba. Nena te mataba ya commercial large scale, tu mataba fe tunaona ti neba investor bali bwera, neba boss bale pitana. That wasn't making sense. Like I have people who I know who are in agriculture. Like you go to Central Province, we've got big farmers like Abena Puna. They are throughout farmers, rain season, as them they farm rain season, non-rain season, they are consistent. That's what they've been. But I've been surprised with our government who's been letting ama Chinese kubwera Zambia. So ama Chinese, ayama gift yabo kubeba toke gift yenui na tuisumina as our friends, but nakulika date mwala shitaposhan since balia awa nesu ewo mwale mfana na wena sana eba shire ifif kwa ifira panashe nata mwa scrapping eko off kashinga nika 14 billion yeti mkabwa sheko na mkwadi 4 billion then itwala mwana gift wala tupere
we don't even want, this time to be realistic, my brother. Let us be realistic. We don't want any more. We as the youth, especially some of maybe you are younger than me, we as the youth, I have learned this here in the diaspora, of course, and I think I am privileged. Please, if you are doing business, remember that there is no gift in business. So, the area akale wale tweva, ama colonialist masters, they were cheating us. Wale twala kamira kuli chitimukuru ati mwana kamira, we are giving you kamira imwe tupe ninso fushitatu. If you are late takale, but twalya abafyashi besu tabari kusukuru tabari shibe the difference between what was the measure between a mirror and a rhino horns. Vale chita exchange. gold yaine tupeni gold vatupela gold vavula gold vena olo vatupela ifwe vayapele mfumu akali osi mfumu yakwela pele osi yatemwa vasenda gold. They used to do this. No, my guys, gentlemen, allow me also to use this word. Sorry to use the word guys. It's not so.
No, it's fine. Here it's this is informal setup.
Okay. So you guys imagine if we are not.
There's a lady here.
There's also a lady.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. My goodness, I'm sorry. My apologies. Ladies and gentlemen. So I think, listen, we don't want any more. Mr. Muna, the future generation is not going to forgive us if we behave worse than our forefathers. Vena ku university tabaileko. Ife twali kwatama degrees, bambi ife twali pokama degrees pano. What is the source for us of having received a degree? If nganamo na ine ofu balambo kutupufia bamuna balambo kutupufia atitwala leta ma gift ku Zambia ba Ministry of Information ever inform this notice to the country, to the nation. Minister of Information at a gift from China. We don't want the gift. Let Chinese scrap off the debt. Muchitundu nshitwalalanda kanshi. Which language? Na muchi Italian. Let me even say it in Italian. Non vogliamo i regali, non li vogliamo i regali, ragazzi. Noi vogliamo che lo Stato cinese ci cancella i debiti. Basta, cancellano i debiti. Punto. Non vogliamo i soldi, non li vogliamo. We don't want the money. We don't want the money. We want the Chinese government to scrap off the debts. Scrap off the billions that we owe you. Don't bring the vehicles. We don't want them. Not Kongole for China. How can you bring the gifts? Zambia, I challenge you. Where have you seen a Chinese giving a blind man money purchase on the market? Tell me. Where have you seen a Chinese person helping Awako Tekucha Mboli kwa Mulenga? Tell me. Where have you seen a Chinese building a house Kundeke, Kodindeke, a Chinese Nangutabere Mukikala from China compound? China, what do you call them? The
China compounds where they are just, and initially, yeah, you're right on that one.
Let us not be stupid. We should not be stupid as Zambians. Inena isakuno na ikala panganda ya bantu. I have not constructed a China compound. Chinese bank, China compound, China food, China writings on the buildings in Lusaka. All China language writings on the buildings. When you are an investor in a Zambian country where we speak English, why don't you learn English and you write on the buildings in English? Why do you write in Chinese? Let me understand.
Thanks, Brother Oscar. Before you give us that Italian speech was very good.
Listen to this.
Anyway, Brother Richard, give us your opinions and then we'll pass it over to Brother Tiki. Then we close this show. Unmute yourself, big man.
Good evening, Brother Muna.
Go on. Everybody else is good on the set. You can go on with your point.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy with the articulation from our brother, Comrade Oscar, as well as our sister there and Brother Ronald. Indeed, these Chinese, they don't mean well to us Zambians. When you come here on the Copper Belt, you'll find that we have several mines here. And specifically, I'm going to mention about Luansha copper mine. you find that these people, they haven't built houses where them to stay. They are staying in a shaft. You know shaft? Yes.
What was that?
They haven't
Explain for
built
the people in
houses.
case some people do not know exactly what that is.
Okay, they are staying in shaft where they put those machineries. Okay, instead them to implement the houses where to stay when the time to leave this town, they have to leave those houses either to the council or to the society. But you find that there are thousands of them, they just stay like animals, which is very sad. So then they have also opened up a very big open pit in this country. So the previous regime, PF regime, we tried to consolidate with the people who are in government, see how these people they have done. Because I remember they have also broken away where they put the table tennis ground and the ground for football pitch. They have taken it and they have make as a mining open pit. So when you look at this, as our brother comrade Oscar was articulating issues, these people, they have just come to root the resources, and when times comes, when these things finishes, they are going to leave us with nothing. So I think this government, this new Dawn government, we believe and hope, because I can see that we are in the right channel with the president, and if the ministers can collaborate with the Republican president, I think we are in the right channel. They are going to be dealt with nicely. That's my submission.
Thank you, Brother Richard. Brother Chiki, give us your opinions.
Good evening, Muna, and good evening, fellow panelists. It's good to see Uncle Oscar since being in the new year. Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you. New Year.
I think Brother Oscar brought out a lot of issues to do with the Chinese, but I think there are a lot of labor issues that need to be attended to, because it's not just the Chinese, but a lot of investors rather have been found wanting when it comes to labor issues. I think there are a lot of cases that are taken to the labor office almost on a daily basis. Under the previous regime, we saw a lot of these things being hashed down. People would report to the labor office and nothing is done. So we don't know that it was a laissez-faire attitude from the labor department, or there was exchange of brown envelopes, which we hope was not the case. Okay, because we want to see people work, we want to see Zambians happy, we want to see Zambians reporting for work happy. But if there are all these conditions that are not suitable for the locals, but the investor is coming in and exploring and reaping from our resources and going away, leaving a very angry workforce or labor force, I think it's not healthy for our country. We need to have a balance. We need to meet halfway, the investor and the locals and the government. And looking at the arrest of the Zamra director, I think it's kudos, first of all, to the Public Accounts Committee team and the works they've been doing, because they really made sure that these things were brought out. Okay, they did not sit by, they did not cover up for these officials, okay, these PEPs. But I think the Public Accounts Committee is doing a very commendable job, and we need to continue encouraging them. And we need to see cases moving from the Public Accounts Committee and to DEC and ACC, and we need to see these cases in court, and we need to see the final results. Either somebody going in because they committed a crime, they stole from this country, or they delivered expired drugs to their fellow Zambians. It's so inhumane. It's so inhumane, and it's good that we are seeing these people being called and questioned, but we need to see the final results of these cases. We are impressed with the arrests going on, with the cases that we already know. Okay, and that's the thing. These are cases that the country already knows about. Okay.
Yeah, cases that each and every Jim and Jack can actually solve. You know, so
Yes.
it's very funny.
Yeah, so we implore the ACC, the Drug Enforcement Commission, the FIC to really produce the results that Zambians are looking forward to, because these are the issues that made us vote for change. Yeah, so a good kudos to ACC, and we look forward to seeing more of these cases being sorted out, because we've sorted them out in our homes, but we need to see the law complete its course.
Right, and you know, just to dwell on that particular point, right? So far, I haven't been mesmerized with regards to any Zambian investigative case. You know, we haven't had like a sophisticated case whereby we see sophisticated things being solved. We just deal with cases that each and everyone can solve. We all know that, okay, so there's no surprise, no nothing. Bureau of Investigation, they do ama DNA, ama chemical shan, everything is just basic, something that anybody can solve. So we really need to improve our services. We're really lacking behind. Yeah, so gentlemen and lady, let's give our conclusions before we call it a night. So who are we going to start with? So ladies first, because I'm such a gentleman.
Ladies first.
Oh, thank you. I thought this opportunity would never come. Thank you so much, Mina, and everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have touched on this yet, but the Youth Empowerment Fund, this whole scandal that's brewing, and how monies have been mismanaged and all of that. I just wanted to put this point across. It seems as though there's a lot of people who are over 35 who feel like, you know, they should get a piece of the pie, or maybe feel like they need that money. Why doesn't the government come up with a plan to sort of like broaden the age restriction? Because I think that is a huge problem. We have a lot of people who were sort of like in the youth age group who never got employed. They've never had jobs. They've never had empowerment. And now they're over 35 and they don't qualify, right? Can't they find a way to find a mix? So you'd have like a youth-led cooperative, for instance, but then you have input from like older people who have experience, perhaps, who have some skills, who can add value. Because what I can see now is the youth are being given money and they just don't know how to manage those funds because they don't have experience, they don't have exposure, they don't have the skills. Can't they find a way to sort of like find a right mix? Because I think a lot of young people want this money, but unfortunately, when it comes to managing risk management and all of that, it's lacking, you know. And then you find a year or two later, then so much debt because they just didn't know how to manage these funds. Yeah, so that's just something that I would like to put across. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Joanne. Who's up next? Any, you know, addition to what she said, plus your conclusive remarks? Tiki, go for it.
Yeah, maybe in addition to what Joanne has shared, I think the youths also have a responsibility to look for this information, seeing that most office bearers are still settling down in their offices in government. So it's incumbent, I think, on the youths also to take responsibility, to visit their constituency offices, find out which members of the society have been appointed in these CDF committees, so that you know you acquaint yourself with the process of applying for empowership, either from the CDF or looking out for empowerment programs that will be provided for by government. I have reason to believe things will be done a bit differently compared to how it was with PF, where buses were being given to cadres at intercity, buses from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and there's no accountability. There are nobody's paying for those loans. We look at this Coppola Empire.
Yeah, Coppola.
Yeah, these people that got loans and bought vehicles, lived luxuriously, and till today, that's 2 years ago, 2020, and today, none of them has paid anything, okay, towards the loans they got. But I think the UPND government has learned, or should learn, because it's a continuous process, from how the PF government handled these loans and wasted a lot of resources. But we need to see accountability also in the process, and that they should also educate. The Ministry of Information should educate the masses on cooperatives, how to form cooperatives, and also provide information available for the various empowerment programs that they've lined up. And my concluding remarks, I think it goes out to the media. The media play a very key role in the affairs of the country, but I think our media has been very terrible. Okay, under PF, we thought, it was because of the heavy hand that was laid on the media, and it wasn't as free. But under the new Dawn government, the media is still giving us that poor service. Okay, because even the attention being given to the thieves, the criminals, the people that owe us, the people that stole from us, the attention they're giving them, and the failure to challenge these individuals when they give them that media space. Okay, either when they're appearing before ACC or they're from being questioned by ACC, and somebody rushes to say, we're being targeted because we are Bemba. I think the media needs to take responsibility and counter these guys. Ask them, but you've been caught because of this case, because of the 48 houses, because of this and that, because of HoneyBee. Okay, nothing to do with tribe. But to my disappointment, it's like the journalists still go with Mulomo, like I always say. It's just, so what do you say? So what do you say? Yet they have information available. They have the opportunity to investigate, to do investigative journalism, so that when they are interviewing these guys, they give them a challenge based on the facts available. Okay, for Sean Tembo to be saying no, Bembas will be extinct. Question the man. Remind him the crimes that these people commit, no wonder they're being called by the ACC. Okay, and they should, and these are not just small crimes people are being called for. It's different from a call out at the police station. This is the Anti-Corruption Commission, Drug Enforcement Commission. Okay, so I think our journalists still need a wake-up call. They still need to be reminded that we need them to be impartial. We need them to stand with the people. Okay, always stand with the people. Whether you're a politician, you're a public servant, you're in the media, you're a citizen, always stand with the people.
Thank you, Brother Tiki. Up next is Leonard. Give us your concluding remarks.
Okay, Brother Mona, one thing, I'm a person who really loves something to do with investment, identifying a problem and trying to find a solution. So like the way Sister Joanna there said, we should have a line drawn of people who should get the youth empowerment and who shouldn't, which also Brother Trick there touched about. One thing I would urge these youths, Brother Mona, before they go and make noise at those offices for youth empowerment, I will gradually, I would urge them to first go for business consultation, investment consultation. Those are the things that are killing us. Now we've got lots of youths in Zambia that don't have what to do. Since they've heard there's youth empowerment, they are going to cry for youth empowerment. You give them the money, they don't have actually what to do. So I would prefer, before they're given the money, they should have at least a training of empowerment. What sort of empowerment or investment do they want themselves to be found in? You get. So in Zambia, we've been lacking the kind of acquiring knowledge. Knowledge is knowledge. I always tell them to say knowledge is pricey. Knowledge is bought, but wisdom you can't buy. Knowledge you can buy. I can easily come to you, Muna. How do you manage the page? What is needed? I can easily buy the idea from you. So first and foremost, on the youth, when it comes to empowerment, these guys they should go for consultations, and I'm hoping that in the next 5 years from now we're going to have lots of consultation firms that will help people in business planning, housing planning, and all those going forward. And then the way Brother Tricky talked about the media. Remember last time when I said there is lots to be desired with these Zambian journalists. They interview people who don't even add any value to the nation. Like for instance, I would say a normal journalist can't be following Sean Tembo morning, daylight, asking him what checks and balancing is Sean Tembo bringing towards the nation. Nothing. They are there following the light. And then the one sad part about our Zambian journalists, they don't go to ask those guys questions whereby they have questions to shoot them. If you watch the interview between Costa Mans and Chimba Kambwiri, Honorable Chimba Kambwiri was fixed. Costa Mans can ask questions like as if Honorable Chimba Kambwiri was about to faint. We need a number of journalists who can ask questions like that. What do you have to say since you've been called again from to the ACC? You've been affiliated with the PF and the tribe, but then that's useless for lack of better terms. So I'm urging all those friends of mine who've got an ambitious of becoming journalists. Those are opportunities. They should look through that and say, this is an opportunity. These guys can't do a better job. This is how a better job can be done. This is how we need to ask these people questions. This is how we need to tackle such issues. This is how we can bring these guys to book. And then to my conclusion, I will still go back to the Chinese guys. I will conclude with the Chinese guys. One thing is for real, those guys that are in Zambia, not for friendship, but to make money and to make the nation richer and more richer. I'll ask a simple example. Brother Muna, you were Zambian, I'm Zambian, I've been born in Zambia. I've never seen a single Chinese or a group of Chinese just say, today we're going to Chivolia and construct that clinic that is in Chivolia for free and just help those guys. They've got poor drainage system. We're going to construct that drainage system freely just because we love people from Chivolia. We've never done that. Do you have a Chinese who stays in Chibodia or Kuchamboli or Kuchuempala? If those guys are friends with Zambians, they want to live with us as brothers and sisters, why do they build their own compound and stay there alone and just employ our fellow Zambians as workers who are mistreated there? So these guys are up to no good. If these guys are saying they are our friends, they want to give us gifts, they should come as friends. Let's eat with them, stay with them. Let them allow Zambians to marry Chinese the same way they're marrying our sisters. So a lot has to be done and has to be demanded. Lastly, the media was supposed to ask questions to Information Minister Chushikasana to say, these people, they're saying gifts for free. What is the catch? What are they going to benefit from these gifts that they're giving us? Don't you feel and think that these guys, they're up to something for coming up with such kind of gifts? Because I don't trust, and then the Information Minister, she has to be asked questions that will make sense and that will bring sanity to the country. And then I'm still. I still have the question mark with our information minister. To my perspective, Tabakawana can be a very better information minister than the madam. But I hope and pray that she develops, and then the only way that she can develop is for her to be facing questions from people and the journalist. That's the only way she can improve, probably, if she still has room to improve. You know, there are some people who will never improve if they've reached a certain stage. I'll end from here and I'll say it was a good one, Brother Oscar, having you back, and you raised the good point. Same there, Sister Joanna. We hope to see you more often. Have a good night, guys. Mona, more time.
Yeah, take care. Take care. Okay, Brother Oscar, you're up next.
No, thank you so much. I think the panelists have exhausted many beautiful comments. I just have to say thank you for having been given this opportunity to say a word. And I think we have said a lot of things with our minister. I hope somebody can tag our Minister of Information, and not only our Minister of Information, but to the Don government. It does not make sense to receive a gift from somebody you are supposed to pay back the debt. It does not make sense. Let them cancel. That's all. Let's choose some priorities. What is the Zambian priority? To start paying some debts. Now, why receiving these gifts? I repeat, and this is my ending word, Mr. Mona. It does not make sense. We have gone to school. Allow us to answer back with the logic and the intelligence that we have acquired at school. These things smells. It does not make sense unless maybe I can be convinced otherwise. Mr. Muna, thank you very much, and thank you to all the panelists. It's quite a pleasure to be part of this beautiful platform. Thank you.
You have been awesome, Brother Oscar, and we're going to be coming back to you for those Italian remarks. That was that was very intense. It was so deep. That was very good. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Enjoy yourself. Looking forward to having you tomorrow. We'll be back again, same time, and looking forward to having you. Take care. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have been Z Corner, your community TV station. And of course, we are unfiltered. And, this is the beauty of having an informal type of setup, because we want to get those raw, authentic opinions. And, we just do not want to mask anything and seclude some sentiments. And this is one of the reasons why this could either be a good thing or a bad thing, but it's up to you to decide and judge. So I have been your host, your humble and gracious host. My name is Mnalula, and just like we talked about, right, today's background, we are definitely going to be hitting the ground, and we're not going to be doing this on social media forever and ever, because the platform has to evolve, and we just have to impact the nation in different ways as well. So thank you very much for being part of Z Corner. You are always supporting us, and thank you for all the likes, all the shares, and all those amazing good things that you do. So I will see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. but of course Zambian time. I'm trying to be on time. I'm trying to make it at 8 p.m. Zambian time, but hey, sometimes things just get out of hand, and this is one of the reasons why we're slightly delayed by about 15 minutes. It's beyond me, but I'm trying my best. But we'll be back 8 p.m. Zambian time. Talk to you a little bit later. Thank you. Have a great evening, a great night, a great day, great morning, depending on where you are catching us from, and God bless you.